Hi, my name is MK Williams and I'm a published author, and today I'm bringing you another prompt in my Break Your Block series to hopefully get you out of your writer's block. So today what I'd like you to do is to focus on what is the character of your setting. And you may be thinking, okay, characters are different than settings, but in many stories that I've read that I've really enjoyed, the setting actually becomes a character in itself. So is the city that your story takes place, or the house, or the home that the characters are moving in and out of, does it take on a life of its own? So for your setting, whether it's in a city, an unknown land, a building, how do the people who enter that space feel? How do the features of that space accent that feeling? Is there something that's perpetually wrong or out of place, or maybe it's too perfect and that's juxtaposed against what's going on? Is it a confining space that people are in that makes people start to stoop over and hunch their shoulders as they approach? Or is it an idyllic space that just inspires people to stand tall and gives them energy to tackle their challenges? One example is that my collection of short stories, The Games You Cannot Win, the final story in the collection, Escaping Avila Chase, is set in Philadelphia, and the city plays heavily in the telling of the story, and it becomes a secondary character in how the main character, Trevor, interacts with it. As well, in my novel Enemies of Peace, a thriller that's set in the suburbs, the home that the Lawsons move into reflects what's happening in their marriage, and you can see that with like the cracks in the foundation, some of the issues with like bugs getting in and things like that. It kind of gives you this feel of like, this might look like a nice house, but it is not a welcoming home, and that was supposed to play into what was going on with the characters. So your setting can just be a setting. It doesn't have to be more, but it can be. So maybe your story is set with two people sitting on a park bench and they're having a conversation. So the setting is a park and they're on a bench. You can describe this very quickly. People can picture that. But there can also be more. The park is an open space. So are there children laughing in the background, and does that play into the conversation the characters are having, or does it juxtapose? Is it at odds with that conversation? Is it cold out? So maybe has one of the characters just been sitting waiting in the cold, so that's playing with their mood? Is there gum or goo on the bench, so one of the characters has to just constantly like sit at a weird angle, and how is that going to impact how they're feeling and what they're saying? Is there like a pigeon or a squirrel that's pestering them? So play more with your setting, and really focus on what that is, and get into the space of, if you, author you, is walking through that setting, what's the tone and what does that feel like? And then you can apply that to how your characters feel. So take a couple minutes today to just really reflect on your setting, and things like that, and hopefully that'll get your juices flowing again. Hopefully you found this helpful. If you have, please click like or subscribe below, and now you can get back to writing your book.